Now, fellow rude boys, stand fast and let us unite and deal with 100 or 1,000 years.
But first.
Oh! It's over! I don't know what they was thinking when they let the city in the building sabotage.
Good morning. You're listening to WNJC 1360 AM, the Eye of the Tiger. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today we have a full house. Poker. Full house. Not a flush, a full house.
A winning hand.
Today we have a winning hand. And with us this morning, we have the gran activista, none other than Jose Santiago.
Good morning. It's been a while. Good morning to everyone. Enjoy the beautiful weather we got on here today. It's nice. It's like spring coming on. Indian summer.
Well, what is going on? No winter, Jose. What's up?
What's that?
No winter.
There ain't going to be no winners after we finish with them.
Okay. In the studios with us again, my brother from another mother, but a brother like no other, Big Lou.
What's up, world? How y'all doing? Good morning. What's up, Ainge?
Hey, good to have you here, Big Lou.
Yeah, thanks. Good
The
to be
other side of Big Lou, we have the ex-chairman of the Republican Party, none other than Reverend Torres.
How you doing, everybody?
Hey, Rabbi, how you been, man?
Man, I've been walking the streets and been going to these meetings. We got a lot to report about.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about on there, and Big Lou's been busy with the Candid Anthem. How's that going, Big Lou?
It's going good. This Sunday we're gonna shoot a video to that. We're gonna have you there, of course.
Awesome.
We're gonna have a lot of people there, a lot of important people coming through. It's gonna be good.
We're gonna call it D-Day.
Yo, that Candid Anthem is rocking the boat.
That's right.
Definitely.
The new revolution.
Yes, and shortly in the studio with us, John Williamson is scheduled to be here. He's somewhere in the studio. He should be here in a minute. And he is the president of the Fraternal Order of Police of Canada. Yes. So let's start with you, Mr. Reverend. Talk to me about these great meetings that the mayor's been having in Camden. Come on.
Right? This is she had her second one last night, and she's going to have another one tomorrow at Sacred Heart. But she's rolling out the Metro plan, and she's saying that she's just putting out this plan as an outline, and then she's got to come back with the real numbers. So she's saying that, she's
so what's
moving.
the hurry, though? Well, I mean, there was almost back-to-back plans, meetings, and you running all over Camden without a plan. Right. So what are you talking? What are you saying to the community?
Well, I mean, she's answering back to the petition drive that the FOP is doing. The FOP is going to, they're up to 3,000 signatures. I heard them say.
That's right.
And they're going to be following that on Friday. So she's like, trying to get the community backing before the petition comes out.
I really don't think that's what she's doing it, because the petition drive is going to go on regardless. You're going. The mayor and the chief of police is out there talking about a plan that they don't even have, that haven't been drafted yet. It's like talking. It's like going and selling vacuum cleaners without a vacuum.
Without a bag.
I think the petition drive it has a little bit to do with that, but I think it's the emergency, the fast track of getting this to the community and passed as soon as they can. Right. I think that's more than because
it's all about timing. You know what I mean?
You can't. How can you explain going out to the community and talking about a plan that you don't even have? I mean, it's like what the heck is that about?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know.
It's like
they don't have a plan.
It's
I was
like,
just saying that, you know how they do you, man. They unroll what they want to roll out to you, and then once they get there, then they dump the whole thing on you.
Well, actually, they don't have a plan because they don't detail the plan With us in the studios today is the president of the Fraternal Order of Police, Mr. Williamson. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. How are you? How's everybody doing today?
Pleasure to have you here.
Welcome.
Pleasure to be here.
Bienvenido. Welcome.
We are the issue on the table will be the petition drive that you're doing today. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing today and about the petition drive?
Well, we initiated a petition drive back in the beginning of the year. Once we realized that they were definitely moving forward, we had heard rumblings over the last year that this was an option, and then kind of after between August and maybe November during the elections, it kind of quieted down, and then you would hear different stories that it was going to go away. We had entered back into negotiations with the city to try to obtain some type of agreement to kind of put this thing to rest. Those negotiations kind of flattened out, and I guess they got the directive to move forward. We did a lot of research on the city's charter and the Mirror Act and the Faulkner Act, which the city is chartered under, and we pretty much got our idea to move forward with a petition drive.
So you are introducing the petitions today?
Yes.
At what time?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. And what's going to happen? What's the next process from there?
Once we turn the petitions in, we turn them into the clerk. The clerk goes over, pretty much has 20 days to go over the signatures and make sure that all the individuals who signed are registered voters, that their signed address is their voting address.
Yes.
Once that's completed, if there's any discrepancies, they will notify us in writing. Once they notify us and we are in receipt of what the discrepancies are, we then have 10 days to rectify any discrepancies. And
how many signatures you need?
Right, we needed 900, which was 15%.
Oh, beautiful.
Which was 15% of the last. The amount of people that voted in the last election.
Beautiful.
So we've gotten over 3,000 signatures, and that is in a 28-day period.
That's beautiful.
And we still have signatures coming in. We will take petitions up until the time we go over to turn them in.
You got 5 in my house. You gotta come and get it. Okay. You got 5. My wife, my kids. 5, guaranteed.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I myself, I'm against this Metro Police. To me, that's a fake. To me, this is nothing but to maintain a university, because Norcross wants policemen for his university. And that's what it's all about. He don't want to have his own police like Rokers and like, but it costs him money. So he's using the excuse as the Metro Police that I don't see no Metro Police. All I see is Camden Police name being changed to Metro Police because nobody else wants to join. So
well, one thing everybody has to understand, and that is, under this proposed plan, the current police department will be disbanded.
Oh yeah.
Under civil service rules, and people also forget. You hear different politicians saying that civil service is a hamper, it ties your hands, but they have to understand civil service was created.
That's right.
To protect employees and potential employees from employer and supervisor misconduct.
Right.
Also, the discriminatory practices that, even though there are protections there, we all know go on. And to basically offer some type of fairness to a hiring and employment process.
Yes.
What this will do is set the process back 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think that anybody. I'm not going to say anybody, but I don't really think that that the people realize the magnitude of what this entails.
You're right.
Because normally it starts off small. If we can get this, then we're going to go for something else, and it's a snowball effect.
I see a much dangerous picture here.
Me too.
When you and the mayor were in the talks about layoff and what you wanted, and you guys gonna come to a decision, and she opted to fire or lay off all these cops. The city was in crisis then, and the administration knew that laying off these cops will increase crime, and it did, because 52 lives were lost.
Yes.
Of our children, our friends, our cousins, our families. That's who they lost. And you talk today. You said were a submarine. That crime. There's talk that cops out there don't do their job in the city of Camden. All the cops that I know are good cops that do their job. Yeah. Are there other cops that with the administration who purposely did not do their job?
Well,
I mean, what's going on? Is there?
Let's make no mistake about it. The Cannon Police Department has always done more with less. We've always had issues of doing more with less, but keeping that in mind, the Cannon Police Department is the best police department in the state, and I would rank our officers against any officers in the country. There's no other police department that does it better with the resources that we have.
But again, I hear that, and I just want to get something clear.
Right.
That Camden has the best technology in the whole country.
No.
Is that true?
No, we have the best technology in the state, but we are up there in the country.
Right.
Absolutely.
So we have the resources to get your job done.
We've over the last few years, the resources have come in. We have the shot spotter, we have the cameras, we have devices in the cars, automatic tag readers. We have a DMS computer system inside the cars. So we do have a lot of technology. We recently upgraded our weapons. Mm-hmm. So there's been a lot of money invested in the improvement of the police department.
Can I say something?
Yes.
With all respect, about the camera thing, it doesn't. First of all, and I talked to Cordero about it, and I talked to him. And I talked to someone who was on the police. He told me that was the way it's supposed to be, but they don't do it that way. I believe that the camera should be in your neighborhood, not in Broadway, not in those areas, because Broadway is empty in the weekend.
Well, there's about 80-something cameras around.
Well, what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, you take a place like Crema Hill, where I live, where my friend just got killed on the grocery store. What two friends of mine got hauled up yesterday and the day before yesterday. They store in 32nd and Byram, and every other 2 weeks they hold them up. I think the camera should come into our neighborhood, be in our neighborhoods, all over the neighborhood, and then they should have a monitoring station at the community centers, and each community center should have a situation room, not in the police department, and it should be monitored by the community who knows the area real good. And then, like you say, you have what you call the gadget, the computer in your car, what do you call that? And that signal could be sent straight to the police who's patrolling that area at that moment, that the guy can monitor from the cameras in the situation room, could send that picture straight to the police car, so he'd be on his way and then he call for help. That's when, because the reason why I say that is because I like the police department. You don't misunderstand me. And you guys don't have a magic wand. Do you have to have a crystal ball that's going to tell you somebody's getting hauled up right now, somebody's getting beat up, because you got some crazy people that will kill anybody just for the hell of it.
Right. Well, I'm not
look,
necessarily sure about the legalities as far as, who can monitor the cameras under FCC regulations. Because the cameras are put up for, law enforcement use.
Right.
So there may be some regulations or restrictions that there would have to be some type of certification,
like the 911 operators,
right? That you would have to go through to be able to do.
But who knows more better than neighborhood than the people who live in the neighborhood?
Well, look. I want to get off
and that's where partnerships come in.
I want to give Mr. Reverend Torres a chance to comment on what the Chief Thompson said about the Camden Police Department. But before I say that, I say this. The other agency in Camden who has all the resources to get the job done and have not been able to get it done for years is the Camden Public Schools. They get $22,000. They got all the resources to get the job done and have not been able to get it done because of the same thing. They are. It seems to me that they put all the resources in place, but yet allow some mechanism for failure. And it goes with the police department. And it said that right now there's legislation being introduced for the firefighters to be part of this Metro Police, which, make conflict the whole thing. Go ahead.
The question I wanted to ask Mr. Williamson was when you guys sat down with the mayor, and I was talking to her about, I like talking dollars and cents, right? So how far were you off in dollars from getting your from keeping the Camden Police Department and from where the mayor was at? Do you have how many millions were you off?
We actually weren't off at all. There was a number figure that we were given. We met that number figure. And once we met that number figure, then it became, more. And it got to the point where
they was asking you for more money, more reductions?
Yeah, they were actually putting us in a position to ask for over almost a 40% decrease in pay.
So what was the first number?
And that was not something that we,
nobody.
What you started with?
They don't say how much money. They don't talk dollars.
There were some dollar figures, but and I will say this in respect to the mayor and keeping the integrity of the bargaining that was done, because we just kind of flatlined in our negotiations, but I don't believe in negotiating in the media. I've never believed in negotiating in the media. If something is put out there that is inaccurate, I will clarify the inaccuracies with the documented facts. But as to get on and say we were here, we were there, we were here, we were there. This is what we negotiated. That was what we negotiated. I can say that we had a number of $3 million that we would have had to cut. And I say we met that $3 million. We actually met and exceeded that $3 million. And once we met and exceeded that $3 million, the bar kept being raised. And I will say that I've been in negotiations with the city. I've negotiated contracts with the city since 1998. And I will say that this set of negotiations here, I've negotiated with the city, I've negotiated with the state of New Jersey. And this has been the most bizarre set of negotiations that I've ever been in. Normally, when you negotiate, and specifically when you're really trying to iron something out and get to the meat and potatoes, you go in every day until you get a deal. When we negotiated an extension to the current contract back in 2007. we negotiated a 1-year extension, and that was with then Governor Corzine and his administration, since they were still overseeing the finances and the operations of the city. At that time, we were negotiating with his director of employee relations, David Beckett, under the direction of Governor Corzine and Micheline Davis. And when it came down to crunch time, we were in Trenton one day, they were in Camden one day. We were in Trenton for 2 days, they were in Camden for 2 days. And we consistently stayed at it until the details of the arrangement were beneficial to the city and fair to the employees, because we always take the city's economic condition into consideration. And so that's what I would say.
Big Lou.
No, I understand that. I want to take a little bit back. The cameras that y'all put up, they don't work. Them cameras don't work. You know, I live in North Camden. There's cameras there in the corners. Cameras don't work. You know what I mean? There's still the same traffic in there and everything going on. So all you got to do is they bring a cop out there all the time, you know what I mean, to try and sit in the corner. And then the funniest thing ever is that there's a lady that been living there, that her father runs the boatyard downtown. And she's coming out, and, you know, the traffickers, they coming, they buying their drugs and stuff. She's coming out, and the cop stops her. He sees her every day coming out the house. There's corruption there somewhere. You know what I mean? It's corruption in the police department. There's cameras there every day. The cops ain't, some of the cops, I can't say all of them, because I got a couple friends that's that. Now me, I'm cut from a different breed. I've been in the streets. You know, I sold drugs. A lot of guys from that block know me. I don't do that no more, but I make sure I regulate my block. You know what I mean? Because there's kids, and some of them might be my nephews and nieces. Now, the same street that Dana Red said that is the safest street to walk ain't safe at all. You know what I mean? There was even a little girl that got harassed by one of the dudes in the corner selling drugs, talking about, yo, let me do this, let me do that. This is a grown man. So the streets ain't safe. I had to step to him, and I said, respect that. I don't knock they hustle. You know why? Because they ain't no jobs in the city anyway. So some of them brothers, they do want to work. You know what I mean? But they ain't got no options. Right now, people are starving. So I don't knock they hustle, because I know from a hustler's mentality what I had to do to take care of my family when I was coming up. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know, I do music, and I do real music. I talk about certain things that they look at us like we animals, especially when we get stereotyped, the blacks and the Latins. You know what I mean? But I can honestly say that them cameras do not work efficiently. If they do work, whoever is watching that camera ain't doing his job, and it's probably getting paid a salary for nothing, because the same thing goes on right under the camera. So I mean, that needs to step. You know, that needs to step up or get done something, because it's just stealing money. That's all it is.
Well, let me back up and address one issue. The police department, you know, it recently went through a rough time there with the federal corruption trial,
right?
And the actions of those officers are unacceptable,
right?
But however, majority of the Camden Police Department, majority of the officers that work for the Camden Police Department are dedicated. They're family people, and they are of the highest and utmost respect and responsibility.
Right.
Their character. Their character is unquestioned, and unfortunately, there's bad in every agency, every organization, every job, and we as police officers, at times, we all get painted with the brush of the ones that do bad. But that is not a reflection of the Camden Police Department.
Right.
That is not a reflection of anything that I would stand for, condone, or even defend.
Right.
the cameras, to go on to the cameras. I know that there have been crimes that have been solved with the use of the cameras. But again, it comes down to manpower and deployment. And that's the thing. The cameras are not a substitute for bodies or physical police personnel.
But I understand that. But what I'm saying, excuse me, Jose. But what I'm saying is this. I don't disagree with what you're saying, that there's a lot of good cops and stuff like that. You know, it's a lot of people, a lot of the older people, they still need the help from the cops. Somebody like me that been in the streets and stuff, I'm going to take matters into my own hand, because that's just the cloth I'm cut from. But the people that do need it and the kids, if these cameras is up, if you saying that the good cops that's out there, why can't these cameras work for they could let the good cops know to go do something about what's going on there? Exactly. And they could prevent a lot from going on. Why ain't that getting done when it's as simple as that? You know, the cameras is there for a purpose. Let these good cops know, you know what I mean, what's going on. And then, you know, they could start regulating a little bit better, you know, with some of these kids that's walking home from school, little girls getting harassed. Not saying that all the little girls don't like it, because some, you know, these kids is crazy nowadays in Camden, but that's the way they raise. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you could really, the cops should be able to more regulate rather than, you know, all they did was put a camera there. And it's like putting a nice statue there. That's all, you know what I mean? And it's not no good. What is it doing? It's wasting money on something that's really not preventing nothing.
Well, I think as we move forward here, and specifically to get through with this petition drive, and I want to get back to that, and I want to touch on what what you're saying. Ultimately, our goal through this petition drive is to keep the Camden Police Department in the city of Camden.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Take the money.
With that too.
I invested
take
in
the money that is and was going to be invested in this new upstart police department, to have it reinvested in the current police department.
Right. I agree with that.
To build on what we have. Once that's built on, then, you know, we will have the opportunity to have an additional influx of officers that could address that issue. Listen, I worked for my entire career prior to becoming the union president. I worked North Camden my entire career.
Right.
So, you know, I'm partial to North Camden because I've always been there.
Right.
So, and I was in community policing. Worked out of the 1st District House of 7th and State, walked the beat around North Camden.
Right.
So, I know the issues there. Unfortunately, right now, we don't have the luxury of that District House of 7th and State, and the time when you were out there, and you know, we had 5 cars. Always in North Camden,
but
you know, at this point,
and that's I mean, it still was bad then. So I mean, I know what you're saying, and I know how bad it gets. But in other words, what you're saying is y'all got to put that money back in so the cameras will be able to work, because they're not working right now.
Well, no,
so they fooling the people.
We have to put the money back into the personnel.
I hear you.
To build the personnel.
Yeah, I hear you, but I think
cameras work.
See, somebody like me, I know some of them cameras. I know they work, but I don't think they functional right now. You know what I'm saying?
Anyhow, I'm going back. I agree with the officer.
I mean, I respect.
I don't want no metro police in Camden. We got our own police department. We may have some bad apple here and there. I worked for the city for 19 years. I was a co-enforcement officer. I spent 19 years in the street. I started as a traffic inspector. I went my way up. I understand that. And what you guys need is more equipment. Maybe another type of training, whatever, because, you know, you got to go to different training all the time. But we don't need the Metro Police in Camden. I think that's nothing but a bunch of baloney. and we need to keep our own police department. And
Yeah.
then after that's done, then we go to the next step and work what you say, work with the community, work in a relationship, and explain to these people. If somebody call you, don't go to the house until the guy in the corner you are there, because you know what I'm saying.
Guys.
But that's come later. Let's
No.
keep our police department here first.
We have a few bad apples in the Cannon
Slide
Police
that all
Department.
over.
But we have a whole rotten pie when it comes to the Camden Public Schools. No one says anything about that. You cannot, Mr. Williams, you cannot arrest your way out of this. And that's what people have been trying to do year after year. When we have 500 cops, they say, well, we got 500 cops in the streets, and still we're number one in murder. Because we never took care of the problem, the core of the problem, which no jobs, bad educations, no recreation, nothing for these kids to do. So you, in a 60 to 75% reentry. I mean, when you put all that together, you're doing an impossible job.
Well, one thing I will agree with you. We have a lot of social and economic issues within the city of Camden, specifically unemployment, poverty, the poverty level. Where there's poverty, it's inherent that there's going to be crime. As far as the schools go, I can tell you flat out, I'm not in the education field. I'm in the public safety field.
That's a statement that you just said just because you actually want to look good. No, come on, say it like it is.
No.
Say it like it is.
No.
Because you see these kids out there, they're like walking zombies. And there are kids.
Well, I
mean, the city hall, the school district, government has failed the people.
When you're talking about walking zombies, do you mean walking zombie because someone in the school system or didn't do a proper IEP and then?
No.
Hold on, and then
there you go.
And
trying to look good again.
No, wait a minute.
No,
hold on, and then put them on medicine.
No, I'm not talking about that. That is part of the problem. That is part of the problem.
Right, or are you saying zombies because they're not getting a good education?
They're zombies because they don't have driver's license. They don't have a job. No one wants to give them an opportunity. When you have all this, you start doing drugs. You don't have a future. You're just there. You're selling drugs because you have to. So you're doing crime because you need to buy some shoes. You have to take care of your family. This is what Camden has been bred to do all these decades. Now, the school district, yes, the IEPs. We're talking about bad education. We're talking about crime. How about when the school district recently announced that they had 24 incidents of violent crime, and you guys reported that they had 300 and something. I mean, come on. You mean, Mr. Williamson, we got to say it like it is. Because these people need to go to jail because they're destroying our children.
With all due, and listen, I feel you on that, but I don't work for the Board of Education.
I know, but we got to call it like it is.
He's going to negotiation.
I don't work for the
We're calling you out. We're calling the cops out. We're calling everybody out because the job needs to be done.
But the police department did its job by rectifying or clarifying the fact that the school board underreported the incidents.
But you also did your job when you 1 year arrested over 11,000 people. You did your job. No one else did their job, Mr. Williamson. No one else.
The police department did its job.
Yes. The police department did the job. They arrested 11,000 people. No one else did their job. The social agencies in Camden did not do their jobs. Welfare did not do their job because the welfare is a joke. The school district did not do their job. Housing didn't do their job. City Hall, City Council didn't do their job. Only the Camden Police Department did their job.
You forgot one.
So you're saying that the entire system is broken.
You forgot one. You forgot one. The main one. The parents don't do the job.
Okay.
The parents don't do the
come
job.
Come on.
Because, no, look, right, wait.
Oh, my God.
I feel for you, but the parents don't do the job.
And I'm gonna side.
I know you're gonna go there. I know you're gonna go there. Of course you're gonna go there. That's safe.
No.
That's safe.
I know what I came from. I know what I came from. We know.
It's not safe. Let me ask you this question. How when you were young and you were of school age, and you didn't go to school, what did your parents say to you?
Go to school.
And what happened? Hold on. What happened when you didn't go to school?
They're whipping.
What happened when you didn't go to school?
Let me tell you something. The school district, short story, real quick, because I want Reverend to get to shine in. Best wrestler, All-American straight, for 2 years straight. Was a record. Was going straight to college, and then my senior year, I come back to school. They say there's no wrestling program. I go back to go to school, no wrestling program. Transfer to Canada High. They tell me you can't come here for wrestling. And they kicked me out. My parents went over to the school board and said, why you took the wrestling program out? They didn't want to give her an answer. All the parents went in there. They took out the wrestling program to implement golf in the city of Camden. Tiger Woods wasn't even born then. Okay? But they wanted golf, and they took out wrestling when you have great wrestlers. The school district, Camden School District, has been doing decision after decision after decision that hurt the parents and the children. Parents got a voice.
Big boys.
The parents got a voice, but they are not being heard in the Camden School District.
But wait a minute. But the initial question was, if you were truant or you cut school and your parents found out that you were not in school, I'm not talking about if they cut the rest. What would happen? Now I'm going to tell you a quick story.
But listen, Mr. Williamson, you're going to a place where and I'll let you. I'm an advocate for parents, and I've been doing it for over 10 years. Look, I have little grandmoms who walk 2 miles to the school district to the school district for walk to get a help for their grandkid that they have custody of. She goes there 2 times, 3 times. Don't get no help. Calls me as an advocate. In 5 minutes, I get the problem solved. Why didn't that parent get that problem solved 5 minutes? I had to come in.
That's because you go into...
That's embarrassing.
That's because you go into school screaming and slamming your hands.
Yes, but the thing is that you allow a little old lady to go there 3 times. It did not help her.
Listen, and I'm not taking...
Because you don't respect the parents.
I'm not taking away... I'm not taking away from...
You're moving away from the...
Yeah, we're moving away from the...
No, we're not moving away. This is all...
We're gonna sum it up like this. I agree with what y'all saying with the parents, but I got to defend Angel on this. A parent can't cover a kid's eyes all day with what they see in the poverty of the hood.
Right, but
he's going to be immune to what he sees regardless, and there's a lot of messed up things going on in Camden. So I got to defend him because me as a parent, I got to let my kid grow up and take his licks too. So I'm not going to be covering his eyes all day. He's going to see what's going on in the community, and he can follow that.
I'm not taking away.
Mr. Williamson and then Mr. Reverend.
I'm not taking away from what he's saying, and I commend all of the grandmothers and all the single parents that are out there. And I agree with you in the sense that you don't cover you don't shield your child. But I'm going to tell you something right now. I have a 15-year-old son, and I am up his butt. I am up his butt all of the time. I don't give him a time to breathe, to get himself in any...
You live in Camden?
In any trouble. No, I don't live in Camden.
Yeah, that's different.
But now, on that same note, I'm going to tell you a story getting back to the parents and specifically the children and the truancy issue. I was truant one time. I left to go to school. And I ended up not making it to school because one of my friends' school was off, and I went over my friend's house. Back then, I was stupid because I didn't think that the school was going to call the house. Well, nobody was home because both of my parents worked. Well, the school calls my mom's job. My mom tracks my father down, and I figure I was just going to stay out and stay away and come home after school and act like I went to school. Well, I'm coming around the corner on my bike, and my dad's waiting for me. And he asked me, how was school? And I said, school was fine. He whipped my butt so bad, I never thought about cutting school again, even when I was in high school.
But you said the important thing. You said the most important thing. They called your parents. Nowadays, you ain't getting a call.
Yeah, I know.
These teachers don't care. 80% of the teachers don't care.
Who did not go to school all year long and never got a call. My mom went to school one day and whipped my butt in front of the classroom.
Did you act up after that?
No, I didn't act up. But that's before they took the power away from the parents.
Because you knew your mom.
That was before. That was before they took the power away from the parents.
But you knew.
That was before.
Your mom was potentially going to come in and whip your butt in front of the whole school.
But see, you can't. Today they'll lock the parent up.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, well, one quick thing about the petition that you're doing. I've been doing a petition for 10 years, and it's the Kansas City school board just ignored the whole process. And it's as simple as you're saying. You come up with the numbers, 15% of the last elected officials, the question should be on the ballot. There's no legal reason for them to take it. So the only reason why they wouldn't allow it for me is because I was Puerto Rican in front of a whole black leadership. But let me go on to about the, I'm a Republican.
The mayor doesn't have to accept the 3,000.
She has to. They can't beat it legally.
They can't beat it?
It's democracy. It's your First Amendment right to petition government. And she knows that.
That's the First Amendment right.
Yeah, and when I called her racist last night, she didn't like that. But it's exactly the same thing. I'm sitting at Antioch Church where this girl's a member, and I'm putting a petition in for 1 minute of silence prayer to schools and bring the Bible in the schools, and they're not for that. I mean, there's no other reason. I can't wait to go in front of a jury. But let me come back to the policing. Well, I'm from the Republican committee, right? And Jose was the president of the committee, and he was even hired as a special police officer when they first passed that resolution back in 2007.
No. Hold it. No. Don't go there.
What?
I was saying, hold a minute. Let's tell the truth.
Okay, let them finish. Let them finish. Then you talk. Okay, let them finish.
All right. So anyway, I don't understand the resistance that the FOP has against the special police officer program. I'm getting a lot of heat. I'm getting, hearing a lot of things from our committee about Mr. Williams' stand on that. And I'm saying to you is that, listen, the city of Detroit had a loitering law, right? And a loitering law, and they had to get it to pass all the federal, all the constitutional things. And the loitering law says that anyone standing on the corner, I mean, we have a loitering law in Camden. If you're standing on the corner, you're not supposed to, you're there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever. You have to keep it moving, and that's how you, that's how you enforce community policing. Instead of, you can't stop on the corner because, like you said, they arrested over 10,000 kids 2 years ago when they were, arresting everybody. So those 2,000, they said like 2,000 of them were coming back in the system, and that's what the mayor is all worried about the reentry, because all those kids they arrested a few years ago were all coming out now.
Oh yeah, they're coming.
Right. So the community policing, when you have people that are Class 1 or Class 2 officers that are going to be able to that walk the streets doing safe corridors, that walk the streets in the after school so the kids can play on the streets, and the proposition. I've been putting it in front of the chief, and he said that only 25% of the police officers can be special police officers. So we have 287. So you're looking about 60 or 70 that they can put on as a special police officers program. 6 or 7 boots on the ground is definitely going to make a difference.
You can't have any more than
25%
than 1/3.
Right. All right. So you have 280. So that's about 80 or 90 people.
But first of all your numbers are off.
What?
When this that layout that you read from
Arnold Davis of the Republican committee, man.
Arnold Davis. One, you have Class 1 and Class 2. Mm-hmm. Class 1 officers, they only go to training for 1 week. Mm-hmm. They can't do anything other than write a municipal ticket or file or direct traffic. So you're actually going to put somebody in a uniform and unarmed and expect them to do something.
Sit out there in the construction sites where all the police officers are sitting at.
Enforce.
Well, that's a good one. That's a good one. Well, that's good, Mr. Wellington. Why can't we have Class 1 police officer
at the construction site, at Susquehanna Center, in the courtrooms?
Yeah, in the courtrooms, and we have
what we have now. Let me put this out there because I am so upset with these Cannon police officers that I'm going to say this.
The statute for Class 1s and Class 2s do not allow for it. So if the statute is rewritten through the legislature, then we would have no choice but to accept it. But up until the statute is
what statute are you talking about?
Is rewritten, the statute for special police.
But the statute is that you're only allowed to have 1/3 of the police officers.
Do you have the title?
Do you have the
Title 48?
No, I'm asking you, what is the statute that's keeping special police officers?
Happen to be a special police officer. Can I say something? Mm-hmm. The reason why I was sent to the
we already have him in Canada.
Let me explain something. The reason why I went to the police academy was because I was the guy who created the co-enforcement department of the city of Canada. I was the guy who put it together. So Mr. Williams and the mayor decided they want to send me to the police academy so I would have the power to write tickets.
What year was that, Jose? 2007.
10 years, 12 years. I was older, but I was the older guy in the company. And they sent me to the academy so my tickets would have more power in court. I would be able to have somebody arrested and stuff like that because they wanted to create a good co-enforcement department. Right. After I graduated and I was in the city for a while, do you know the police department called me up? Some white guy that I know who he is called me at my house and says, listen, we're not going to give you the police department special police officers because we don't want to I don't want the Camden police department to be ashamed. 100%. I hung up the phone.
Yeah, and I don't know who called you. And,
I know who it is.
Right,
you know who it is. I think he retired.
Yeah, I don't know who called you.
Some white guy.
And I can't speak for.
Right, but what I'm saying is,
I can't speak for.
I don't ask to be sent. The city sent me because of the co-enforcement department.
And I remember when they were trying to build the code enforcement.
Right, because I was the one who put it together and all that. Right. And that's the reason why they sent me. But this guy, white guy, who was the guy who investigated the guns and all that, permit and all that, he was in charge in the police department. He was an ex-Marine. He called me up my house and says, I don't want the Camden police department to be ashamed of themselves. I said, what? I got a police record? Or
no, I don't.
I mean, at that time, by the way, I already retired when he said that. Right. But it makes me, I wasted my time going to the police academy and all that. Mm-hmm. And I was there more. I was there for 2 months.
Yeah, and I can't,
right.
And I, you know what, I can't answer
now
for that.
I know why the reason he said that, because if they would have accepted me,
right.
They would have broken.
Now, let's go back to really quick. People have been calling about the Camden anthem. We're not going to play it today. We will play it next week.
Why don't you play the Camden anthem?
And Shaquille send you a shout out, Big Lou.
What's wrong with the Camden anthem?
No, because we want to talk about we have a lot to talk about, and we want to continue to talk about the Camden police.
You got our support, that's for sure.
What you guys are going to do today with the petition? 20 days. The mayor in 20 days will accept it or say no, or what's going to happen after 20 days?
Then our legal team is going to get involved.
No, but under the Constitution, Camden City has to honor these petitions.
Right.
And if they, there's no
getting around it.
If they don't, then our legal team is going to get involved, and then the courts. We do what we have to do. The courts are going to make a decision.
Absolutely. See, when you have a mayor right now, and I don't talk about George Norcross, I don't talk about the out. I talk about the commander-in-chief of Camden, the mayor. When you say that you came up to the agreement that they were talking about, and you exceeded that agreement, and then they kept hiring and raising the bar. They wanted to do this in the beginning. They wanted to dismantle this police. That was the whole plan in the beginning, because I know that she met with the governor, and they talked about this, and they made a deal up there, and then they came back and talked to you about this. I have no confidence, because whatever is coming down the pike is not in the best interest of the community.
That's right.
If the mayor and George Norcross and all these people were best interest was the community, they would have never laid off all these cops
Because they
and
raise
put
our
us
taxes.
and put
Because
us
they
in
raise our
this
taxes.
terrible situation that we were in, that we lost 52 lives that I believe that they are responsible for. And I said it, that 52 lives were taken, and the mayor and city council and all the politicians conspire to kill these people.
Listen, let me ask you a question about the residency of the police department. Jose, in Pennsauken, to be a Pennsauken police officer, don't you have to live in Pennsauken?
But
I'm just asking the question. Yes.
it's like that for everywhere. but
It's like that for every municipality. And listen.
You're fat. Listen, your facts are wrong.
Okay, the Pennsauken, you don't have to be a resident to be a Pennsauken cop, because my friend is a Pennsauken cop. You have to live in.
Your facts are. Hold on. Your facts are wrong again. In order to be a police officer in the state of New Jersey, any municipality, you have to be a resident of that municipality for 1 year. For 1 year. Prior to being appointed. Right. Once you are appointed, the day you are appointed to that position, you no longer have to maintain a residency. Right. And that is under not only the New Jersey Constitution but the United States Constitution. They cannot make a law enforcement officer or a firefighter live in the municipality that they work in.
Okay. Well, we live in Canada. I mean, we have 99% black and Hispanic. So if any white person applies, he's not from Camden, or he's squatting somewhere with an address.
If they move somewhere and residency is established under the law, then they are legally entitled to apply and be hired. And that is under the civil service system that we are fighting to preserve.
And so that's what I said about Camden. The civil service process is that every other city, and Pennsauken, we'll just use Pennsauken because it's right next door. If you want a job in the city in Pennsauken, you have to live in that city. And it can't.
I'm a Democrat. I'm a Democrat.
I'm just saying for the civil service test.
For one year, you have to be a resident for 1 year.
Whatever it is. Okay, for 1 year.
So you move in for 1 year. So for 1 year, you're paying rent or taxes in the city.
Right. And you move to Fairview, and if you're an Anglo person from the out town, you move to Fairview, well, they have a guy who rents you an apartment, and you could be a policeman.
When they had 5 guys living in one house.
In Camden, we know that there's one house and
with 5 firefighters living.
5 firefighters and 5 cops, all that, whatever. And they should do. The mayor should be a proactive mayor and do what Detroit is doing. Give incentive to police officers to move into Camden by maybe selling them a house for cheap. These 5,000 abandoned home with a 5-year stipulation that you have to live there.
Well, there was a program in the 90s and in the 2000s called the Officer Next Door program, where you could get a mortgage for a mortgage incentive for half the price of the mortgage, but you had and the requirements were that you had to maintain that residence. You had to live in that residence for, it was either like 5 to 8 years, but through the global collapse of the banking industry, because the safeguards were removed,
That's Republican,
and loans were given to people who couldn't afford them, and the banking industry collapsed.
Thank you.
That Officer Next Door program and other programs like that were abandoned.
But Detroit's doing it now.
But can I ask a question?
Detroit may be doing some in-house.
In-house.
The
chief operating officer of Camden needs to be proactive and find ways to keep.
Can I ask you a question, officer?
Yes.
Can't be taking orders.
I want to ask you guys the same. Does it really make a difference if a police officer lives in Camden or not? It don't.
It does.
It doesn't matter.
No,
you know why?
Matter.
Because for the most part, specifically, and I'll talk about police and fire. We're here more than we're at our homes anyway. So when you are in a place more than you're at home, that becomes your second home. You develop relationships. Listen, I have family in this. I have family in the city. I have roots in the city, and I'll tell you, anyone else, even people who don't have any family or don't have any roots in the city, the longer you stay, on the police department or on the fire department, when you make contacts, you develop relationships, and it still becomes your second home.
Right.
So, and I'm not going to say that there are not a small percentage of individuals that don't care about anything but themselves, but the larger majority care about the city, care about the residents.
I'll get the phone to Big Lou in a minute, but look, I'll feel a lot safer if I know the next door to me lives a cop, okay? When he comes home to sleep, I sleep a lot better. When that cop is there, okay, and lives in the same neighborhood that he works, he's going to be doing a lot more, better work. And look, bottom line, what do you think, Ms.?
I mean, I think I live by a different code. Me, I could care less if a cop next to me, because wherever I lay my head, I'm gonna regulate. But I got to talk to the people that don't. I got to talk about the people in the community that don't have, the older people. You know what I'm saying, and the children that need that protection. You know what I'm saying. Me, I'm gonna protect myself and my physical. And if I gotta kill a man, I will kill a man that's gonna try and harm my physical or my family. Because you gotta watch out what's going on now. The young, the youth of the day, they disrespectful, they sick, they growing up wrong. But my thing is this, is that if you take and the people wake up like me, I'm starting almost like my own revolutionary. I got like 300-400 cats on back of me. And, they could do whatever they want, because I'm going to go in the city of Camden by all means necessary. They lock me up. Guess what? The numbers multiply. And then people start fighting for their right, going against whoever is involved, like the mayor that's shutting things down, going against the police department. And we got to build our city within a city for people to get the point. And all we got to do is shake it up and make people. I'm starting to make people realize. I got a meeting already with over 200 people that's really about it. And that's what we got to do to wake up the people, for they can start seeing that change got to come. And if they're not going to give us change, we're going to take the change. And we're going to start a rally in the community of Camden. And they think it ain't going to happen. And it's going to happen.
But we're talking, but Big Lou, number two, we're talking about Dr. King style.
We're talking about improving.
Guess what? I don't live by. Listen, I don't live about Dr. King style. Life. Dr. King. With all due respect to Dr. King, I go by another great leader that was born on May 19th, 1925, and that's Malcolm X. By all means necessary. That's what Camden needs. I don't want to hear the Martin Luther King speech, because I had the mayor, I had the secretary. They was fearing me, and I was just sitting there. And they was throwing darts at me. Why? Because I told them that I'm going to speak for 80,000 people that should be here. Because I told them, make a forum where people could come. Go get Woodrow Wilson. Get the people involved. If you want solutions, learn how to be a real leader. A real leader know how to shut the hell up, shut up, let the people talk, and then you get your solutions through the people that care about their community. And that's how it's supposed to be.
Well, ultimately, the issue is providing a better quality of life for the residents of the city.
And that's how we got to take it in Camden. That's going to be the better quality of life, by taking it by the nuts and us making a stand to make it live better. Because we're not living good right now.
Let me clear that. What Lou's talking about is about the 25% of Camden youth that have the power to make change come out an election day and make the change. That's what we're talking about.
Starting to come out.
And they will come out. The change is taking the power away from the status quo and have real people in City Hall that cares about the community. That's what that represent the community. That's what he's talking about.
And I agree with Lou. I told you before. Says we need to join hands, senior citizens, younger people, and take this city back, because we got to stop this slavery that's going on for 70 years for the people of Camden.
Reverend, last words.
All right. I'm all with Lou that we need to occupy, and I think that we need to occupy first at the DRPA. They should be giving us a pilot of over $5 million for police and safety.
Can you believe that?
And listen, that DRPA money is something that would, you're saying that you're off $3 million. We should be getting about $5 million from DRPA for having that bridge, and we would settle our public safety problems right now.
Last words.
Last words.
Yes.
Last words. We just want everybody that's listening. I want to thank you for having me on the show, and I think that the dialogue here today was a good one. Hopefully, it brings awareness to the residents, and it brings the residents out to become a little bit more involved in the city, a little bit more involved in the community, and to not, just go with what's being said to them. Hopefully, you'll have me back.
Next week, if you want to go talk about what happened. Really quick, want to thank you for coming, Mr. Williamson, Reverend, and Jose. It is the petition at 2 o'clock. We will be at City Hall at 2 o'clock, and we will see if the mayor of Camden violates the Constitution.